key part of this definition is what makes every startup unique, which is the constant condition of extreme uncertainty of these businesses that are being created. Chapter, the author has been talking us about a concept that most of us haven't heard about it. This is not because we are young, this is because we haven't been part of the business ecosystem where it's mostly used. The new concept I'm telling you about is entrepreneur. The first time my partners and I heard this word, we didn't know exactly what it meant. Our first thought of its meaning was when a company is just being created. But this meant more than we thought. So we make ourselves a question. Who or what exactly is an entrepreneur? Well, entrepreneurs aren't just startup founders working out of large companies. They can also be general managers in a large company charged with creating new ventures or product lines. There are entrepreneurs that operate inside established organizations, and they are also called intrapreneurs. Yes, with A, not with E. This is because of certain circumstances that attend building a startup within a larger company. The term entrepreneur is mostly used when the person refers to whole startup ecosystem regardless of company, size, sector, or stage, or development. An entrepreneur can be a young visionary with little backing but great ideas. To see some visionaries with bigger companies and people hold them accountable. Some of the persons listening this might be thinking, but why is he speaking to us about startups if he haven't explained it to us? Well, here is the moment where I'm going to explain to those persons that have this doubt what is a startup. A startup is a human institution designed to create a new product or service under conditions of extreme uncertainty. Because the idea hasn't been tested. They don't know if it's gonna function or if it's gonna have an impact on the public. They don't know. They just have an idea and they wanted to make it happen. The startups are usually made for helping the entrepreneurs increase their odds, building a successful project. But here I have a thing to say to you. The key part of this definition is what makes every startup unique. This key is that the startups are of extreme uncertainty.
As we continue making our search, we formulate another question. If I'm an entrepreneur, what exactly is for me a startup? First, after my partner has given to you an introduction, you should know already that an entrepreneur is anyone who is creating a new product or business under conditions of extreme uncertainty, even though she or he knows it or not, and whether they are working in a government or private agency or a venture-backed company and others. A startup is usually full of highly creative employees that are always coordinating their activities and creating a company culture that is trying to deliver some results. The startups aren't just $1,000,000 ideas, a revolutionary product that will change the course of our present, a technological breakthrough, or even a brilliant idea. It could be even greater than the sum of its parts. It is an actively human enterprise. In every case, the organization of the startup is dedicated to uncovering a new source of value for customers, and it cares about the impact of the product to the target customer they have on their side. Also, as the words entrepreneur and startups are important to understand, you should also understand broadly the word innovation. The startups use different types of innovation. The most popular and effective innovations are the novel scientific discoveries, repurposing an existing technology for a new use, devising a new business model that unlocks value that was hiding, or simply taking the product or service to a new location or a previously underserved set of customers. In all these cases, innovation uses the heart of the company's success. There is one more important part of the definition of innovation. That one is the context in which the innovation happens. The innovation definition is purposefully broad. It can apply to a government agency, a big company, or a small company. Usually, when someone wants to open a new business that is an exact clone of another one that is already running, most of the people adopt the business model, pricing, target customers, and products. This way, to start a product, it might be an attractive economic investment, but this is not a startup, because the success of the business depends directly on the execution of it.
Most of the tools from general
if it is not well executed,
so
it will fail really easily, even though that market
where all of
is
the
really
startups are. This makes an unpredictable customer face, growing array of alternatives, and the idea of changing increases. Yet most of the startups are managed by the standard forecast, product milestones, and detailed business plans. So there's too much that's unknown about the world to predict with high accuracy if something is going to work. We have been talking a lot of this theme, but we haven't gave you any example. So here is an example for it. The Snack Tab story. In 2009, a startup wanted to automate W-2 form processing to streamline individual taxes. Their early users had difficulty scanning in their tax forms. So instead, the startup decided to switch to cell phone cameras as a way to capture W-2 form. But the customers asked for something even more ambitious. Could they complete their entire tax return on the phone? This was a tall order. Tax forms can get super complex and annoying to deal with. Instead of building a complete product and shipping a giant package, the startup decided to release a bare bones version. It only processed the simple tax return, and it only worked for California. It was bare bones in features, but enough to prove that people wanted the app. It launched as SnapTax in 2011 to great success. So, who was behind SnapTax? Surprise! It was an internal project and Intuit, a giant public company that makes finance tools like Quicken and TurboTax. A 7,000 person lean startup. Intuit was founded by Scott Cook in 1983, and they dominated the finance and tax prep software industries. But by 2002, its product initiatives were failing. Cook realized the management practice and Intuit couldn't keep up with a rapidly changing economy. A decade later, Intuit has built entrepreneurship and risk-taking into the backbone of their company. For example, TurboTax, one of their flagship products, used to run an annual product improvement cycle, where product and marketing teams will package together the year's changes and push it out in a single big release. Nowadays, they move in a much more agile way. They'll run up to 70 different tests in 1 week, examine the data next week, and quickly decide what further tests they need to run. Furthermore, because they rely on the data to make decisions, good ideas win. rather than politics. This has led to much faster growth of their new product lines. Eric's major point is that learning a startup is that innovations can happen anywhere, not just in college dorm rooms, but also in large, experienced organizations. But in the latter, it's up to the leadership to create the conditions that will stimulate entrepreneurship and experimentation.